Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamati Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15, Instructions for Civilized Human Beings, text number 3 onwards. Dvo dave pitrikarye shrine kam ubhyatra va bhojet susamriddho api shradhe kuryanna vistaram. During the period for offering oblations to the demigods, one should invite only 2 Brahmans. And while offering oblations to the forefathers, one may invite 3 Brahmans. Or in either case, only 1 Brahman will suffice. Even though one is very opulent, he should not endeavor to invite more Brahmans or make various expensive arrangements on those occasions. So what occasions, especially during the Shraddha ceremony? And Prabhupada says, as we have already mentioned, Srila Advaita Acharya, during the generally observed ceremony to offer oblations to the forefathers, invited only Haridas Thakur. Thus he followed these principles, Name Bhakta Chaturvedi Madhubhakta Shopacha Priya. The Lord says it is not necessary that one become very expert in Vedic knowledge before he can become my bhakta or devotee. Even if one is born in a family of dog eaters, he can become my devotee and be very dear to me, in spite of having taken birth in such a family. Therefore, offering should be given to my devotee, and whatever my devotee has offered me should be accepted. Following this principle, one should invite a first-class Brahman or Vaishnava or realized soul and feed him while observing the Shraddha ceremony to offer oblations to one's forefathers. So here Narad Muni is saying that one should only invite very few Brahmans even. He says even 1 Brahman will suffice. So it is said generally that in Hindu tradition, generally 3 ceremonies, like birth, marriage, and then Shraddha. People like to spend so much money and they like to do it very opulently, but especially the Shraddha ceremony. Narad Muni is saying only 1 Brahman, that's good enough. Don't need to invite too many. Desh Kalochit Shraddha Dravya Patra Arhani Cha Samyak Bhavanti Naitani Vistarat Swajanarpana. If one arranges to feed many Brahmans or relatives during the Shraddha ceremony, there will be discrepancies in the time, place, respectability, and ingredients. The person to be worshipped and the method of offering worship. So there could be many discrepancies or disagreements. Narad Muni has prohibited unnecessarily gorgeous arrangements to feed relatives of Brahmans during the Shraddha ceremony. Those who are materially opulent spend lavishly during this ceremony. Indians spend especially lavishly on 3 occasions: at the birth of a child, at marriage, and while observing the Shraddha ceremony. But the Shastras prohibit the excessive expenditures involved in inviting many Brahmans and relatives, especially during the Shraddha ceremony. And of course, when one goes to, say, Haridwar or Gaya to perform the Shraddha ceremony, and the Brahmans are there and the Pandas are there, and they ask for so much of money and so much of donations, charity, in the name of this, in the name of that. So the best way is just stick to Yatha Shakti. Just remember this word, Yatha Shakti. As my pocket allows, I'll do it. So don't agree to anything that you don't want to. Deshe kale cha samprapte munyannam haridevatam shuddhaya vidhivat patre nestam kamadhukshayam. When one gets the opportunity of a suitable auspicious time and place, one should, with love, offer food prepared with ghee to the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then offer the prasad to a suitable person, a Vaishnava or a Brahman. This will be the cause of everlasting prosperity. See, it's so simple. Narad Muni has given in Srimad Bhagavatam. There cannot be anything higher than this. Just offer food prepared with ghee. One should, with love, offer food prepared with ghee to the deity and then offer the prasad to a suitable person. That's it. Devarshi Pitri Bhutebhya Atmane Svajanaya Cha Annam Samviv Jan Pashet Sarvam Tatta Purushatmakam. One should offer prasad to the demigods, the saintly persons, one's forefathers, the people in general, one's family members, one's relatives, and one's friends, seeing them all as devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As mentioned above, it is recommended that everyone distribute prasad, considering every living being a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Even in feeding the poor, one should distribute prasad. In Kali Yuga, there is a scarcity of food almost every year, and thus philanthropists spend lavishly to feed the poor. For this, they invent the term Daridra Narayan Seva. So again, this term Prabhupada brings in, because it looks like it's a pet peeve for Prabhupada. This is prohibited. One should distribute sumptuous prasad, considering everyone a part of the Supreme Lord. But one should not juggle words to make a poor man Narayan. Everybody is part and parcel of Narayan. Everybody is servant of Narayan. Yes, somebody could be poor materially and rich. That's a different story. But nobody is Narayan. Everyone is related to the Supreme Lord, but one should not mistakenly think that because one is related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has become the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. Such a Mayavad philosophy is extremely dangerous, especially for a devotee. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore strictly forbidden us to associate with Mayavadi philosophers. Mayavadi bhashya sunile ay sarvanash. If one associates with the Mayavadi philosophy, his devotional life is doomed. So this kind of philosophy or mentality or thought process has to completely get out of our way before we can serve properly. Thinking if somebody is Daridra Narayan and I'm a rich Narayan and I'm feeding Daridra Narayan, that's completely bogus. Na dadya damisham shradhe na chadya dharma tattvavit munyanna hasyat para pritir yathana pashu hinsaya. A person fully aware of religious principles should never offer anything like meat, eggs, or fish in the Shraddha ceremony. And even if one is a Kshatriya, he himself should not eat such things. When suitable food prepared with ghee is offered to saintly persons, the function is pleasing to the forefathers and the Supreme Lord, who are never pleased when animals are killed in the name of sacrifice. So I don't think there is any doubt left. Even for Kshatriya, they should not eat such things. Meat, fish, or eggs. Neta drisha paro dharmo nirnam sadharmam ichchatam nyaso dandasya bhuteshu mano vakayajasya yaha. Persons who want to advance in superior religion are advised to give up all envy of other living entities, whether in relationship to the body, words, or mind. There is no religion superior to this. Just like in the previous verse, Narada Muni is saying, Supreme Lord is never pleased when animals are killed in the name of sacrifice. So there is no excuse, none, for anybody to kill animals and eat them. There is no excuse. We can just say, okay, my religion says this, or my guru said that, and this is no excuse. There is nothing superior to Srimad Bhagavatam, and here it is clearly said, clearly. And in this verse, Narad Muni is saying, persons who want to advance in superior religion are advised to give up all envy of other living entities, all envy of other living and not just the human beings. When somebody becomes envious of the animals, then he kills them and eats them. Envious in the sense what? He thinks, oh, they are for my, they're meant for my belly, my food. So we are envious of their existence. एक एक कर्म यान यज्ञान ज्ञानिनो यज्ञवित्तमः आत्मसंयमने अनीहा जुवति ज्ञान दीपिते. Because of an awakening of spiritual knowledge, those who are intelligent in regard to sacrifice, who are actually aware of religious principles, who are free from material desires, control the self in the fire of spiritual knowledge or knowledge of the absolute truth, they may give up the process of ritualistic ceremonies. So ritualistic ceremonies, so karma kanda, is not a very high process, although mentioned in scriptures and people do follow it, but it's not the topmost process. Because of an awakening of spiritual knowledge, karma kanda is all material, nothing spiritual in that. So one can give up. People are generally very much interested in karma kanda, ritualistic ceremonies for elevation to the higher planetary systems. But when one awakens his spiritual knowledge, he becomes uninterested in such elevation and engages himself fully in Jnana Yajna to find the objective of life. The objective of life is to stop completely the miseries of birth and death and to return home back to Godhead. When one cultivates knowledge for this purpose, he is considered to be on a higher platform than one who is engaged in karma yajna or fruitive activities. So after karma kanda, one, if he is fortunate, he comes in contact with some jnani and he takes up the process of jnana yoga and or jnana yajna. Here Prabhupada says, uses the word jnana yajna, and then maybe somebody comes in contact with the yogi, he takes up bhakti yoga, but when he is really fortunate, he comes in contact with the bhakti yogi or devotee. Drava yagyar yakshamanam drishtva bhutani bibhyati esham ma karuno hanya tajyagyo hi asutrip dhruvam. Upon seeing the person engaged in performing the sacrifice, animals meant to be sacrificed are extremely afraid, thinking this merciless performer of sacrifices, being ignorant of the purpose of sacrifice and being most satisfied by killing others, will surely kill us. Animal sacrifice in the name of religion is current practically all over the world in every established religion. It is said that Lord Jesus Christ, at 12 years old, was shocked to see the Jews sacrificing birds and animals in the synagogues, and that he therefore rejected the Jewish system of religion and started the religious system of Christianity, adhering to the Old Testament commandment, thou shalt not kill. At the present day, however, not only are animals killed in the name of sacrifice, but the killing of animals has increased enormously because of the increasing number of slaughterhouses. Slaughtering animals, either for religion or for food, is most abominable and is condemned herein. Unless one is merciless, one cannot sacrifice animals, either in the name of religion or for food. And if somebody is so merciless, how can we even expect him to make progress spiritually? Mercy, compassion, tolerance, patience. These are the qualities, beginning qualities for one to make progress spiritually. And here, Prabhupada is talking about the Jewish system, and Jesus Christ saw that when he was 12 years old. And this system is still prevalent. They call it kosher food. As if by killing animals in a kosher way, or in Islamic tradition, it's a halal way, as if killing animals that way makes us any merciful, makes us any closer to God. No. Or like Prabhupada used to explain that in Calcutta, there is a person who kills animals and sells meat. And what he does, he has put on this Brahman thread, sacred thread. So people go and buy meat from him, thinking, oh, he's a Brahman and he's killing, so it should be okay. No, it is still not okay. Nowhere it is said it is okay. It's just our, because we are so addicted to meat eating, we just try to find excuses. For the fish in Bengal, it is called, it's jal tori. It's a fruit of water. It's not a fruit. It's a living being. And it's just because of our addiction to eating fish, we just give her the name. It's a jal kukdi or jal tori. Just like when people or doctors or mothers, father, or nurses, whatever, they're involved, they kill the baby in the womb. They don't call it murder. They don't call it killing. They call it abortion. Just to give a different name so that they don't feel bad. Oh, we aborted the baby. We didn't kill the baby. We didn't murder him or her. But it is a murder. Yamraji is not going to listen to our arguments, and we cannot even argue in front of Yamraji. But this is just in the name of religion. What is going on is taste of the tongue, just to satisfy the taste of the tongue. And they're killing so many animals, so many. Millions and millions of animals are slaughtered every day all over the world. And here Prabhupada is saying Jesus Christ started Christianity adhering to the Old Testament commandment, thou shalt not kill. And he has given this 12 commandments in Bible. And this is the first commandment, thou shalt not kill. But people, they say they are followers of Jesus Christ, but they don't really follow. When they can't even follow this commandment, simple commandment. They said, no, it means thou shalt not kill human beings. Well, first of all, for killing human beings, Prabhupada has explained that in his conversation with many priests, fathers, that if he meant for human being, he would have said, thou shalt not murder. Killing is for anybody or everybody. Murder is for human beings. But he did not say, Jesus Christ did not say, thou shalt not murder. He said, thou shalt not kill. Means don't kill. Don't kill animals just for eating them. But that's where the problem is. So we are not even following Jesus Christ properly. And how can people call themselves Christians? Tasmad Davopannena Munyena Dharmavit Santushto Aharaha Kuryan Nitya Namittiki Kriyaha. Therefore, day by day, one who is actually aware of religious principles and is not heinously envious of poor animals should happily perform daily sacrifices, and those for certain occasions with whatever food is available easily by the grace of the Lord. The word dharmavit, meaning one who knows the actual purpose of religion, is very significant. As explained in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Becoming Krishna conscious is the topmost stage in understanding of religious principles. One who reaches this stage performs the archana process in devotion service. Anyone, whether a grihastha or a sannyasi, can keep him small deities of Lord suitably packed or, if possible, installed, and thus worship the deities of Radha Krishna, Sitaram, Lakshmi Narayan, Lord Jagannath, or Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by offering food prepared in ghee, and then offering the sanctified prasad to the forefathers, demigods, and other living entities as a matter of routine daily work. So that way, people or devotees can perform Shraddha ceremony every day, daily work. All the centers of our Krishna consciousness movement have deity worship programs very nicely going on, in which food is offered to the deity and distributed to the first-class Brahmins and Vaishnavas, and even to the people in general. This performance of sacrifice brings complete satisfaction. The members of the Krishna consciousness movement engage daily in such transcendental activities. Thus, in our Krishna consciousness movement, there is no question at all of killing animals. So, preparing vegetarian food for the pleasure of the Lord, and then offering prasad to forefathers, demigods, other living entities as a matter of routine daily work, that pleases Krishna, pleases everybody, and that's the right sacrifice one can perform. Vidharma par dharmascha abhas upama chala adharma shakha panchema dharmagyo adharmavat tyajet. There are 5 branches of a religion, appropriately known as irreligion, vidharma, religious principles for which one is unfit, para dharma, pretentious religion, abhas, analogical religion, upadharma, and cheating religion, chal dharma. One who is aware of real religious life must abandon these 5 as irreligion. So there are 5 types of irreligion, which might look like religion, but they're not really religion. Any religious principles opposed to the principle of surrendering to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, are to be considered religious principles of irregularity or cheating. And one who is actually interested in religion must give them up. One should simply follow the instructions of Krishna and surrender unto him. To do this, of course, one needs very good intelligence, which may be awakened after many, many births through good association with devotees and the practice of Krishna consciousness. Everything but the principle of religion recommended by Krishna, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, should be given up as irreligion. So everything but the principle of religion, that's the topmost religion, is Sarva Dharman Parityaja. So what are all these different 5 branches of irreligion? So Narad Muni explains them. Dharma badho vidharma syat par dharmo anya chodita upadharmastu pakhando dambho va shabda bichala. Religious principles that obstruct one from following his own religion are called vidharma. Religious principles introduced by others are called paradharma. A new type of religion created by one who is falsely proud and who opposes the principles of the Vedas is called upadharma. And interpretation by one's jugglery of words is called chal dharma. So chal dharma is very much in fashion. Everybody has their own way of interpreting and understanding and then following whatever they want to do. To create a new type of dharma has become fashionable in this age. So-called swamis and yogis support that one may follow any type of religious system, according to one's own choice, because all systems are ultimately the same. This we have heard so many times in different places. Everybody is same. Well, if everybody is same, why should I follow you? In Srimad Bhagavatam, however, such fashionable ideas are called vidharma because they go against one's own religious system. The real religious system is described by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sarva Dharman Pariteja. The real religious system is that of surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. In the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in connection with Ajamil's deliverance, Yamaraj says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Real religion is that which is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as a real law is that which is given by the government. No one can manufacture actual law at home, nor can one manufacture actual religion. Elsewhere it is said, Sarve punsam paro dharma. The real religious system is that which leads one to become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, anything opposed to this religious system of progressive Krishna consciousness is called vidharma, paradharma, upadharma, or chal dharma. Misinterpretation of Bhagavad Gita is chal dharma. When Krishna directly says something and some rascal interprets it to mean something different, this is chal dharma, a religious system of cheating, or shabdapit, a jugglery of words. One should be extremely careful to avoid these various types of cheating systems of religion. So Narad Muni was aware that this is going to happen, and this is what he is warning Yudhishthira Maharaj about. So chal dharma, so that is interpretation of really a real religious system, and then vidharma, establishing one's own system. And there are so many systems, so many. Even the books or the philosophy that Prabhupada gave, slowly, even in 50 years, not a whole lot of time ago, things have changed. To the extent that everybody thinks whatever I'm following, that is the real understanding of Prabhupada's words. So many things have changed. Yastichya kritah pumbhe radhaso hi ashramat prithak swabhava vihito dharma kasya neshtaha prashantahe. A pretentious religious system manufactured by one who willfully neglects the prescribed duties of his order of life is called abhas, a dim reflection or false similarity. But if one performs the prescribed duties for his particular ashram or varna, why are they not sufficient to mitigate all material distresses? It is indicated here that everyone should strictly follow the principles of varna and ashram as given in the Shastra. In the Vishnu Purana, it is a varna ashram charvata purushena parapuma. One should focus upon the destination for progress, which is to become Krishna conscious. This is the aim and end of all varnas and ashrams. However, if Vishnu is not worshipped, the followers of the varnashram institution manufacture some concocted god. Thus, it has now become fashionable for any rascal or fool to be elected god. And there are many missionaries who have concocted their own gods, giving up their relationship with the real God. In Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said that one who worships demigods has lost his intelligence. Nonetheless, we find that even an illiterate person who has lost all intelligence is elected God. And although he has a temple, it has meat-eating sannyasis, and many polluted activities go on there. This type of religious system, which misguides its poor followers, is strictly forbidden. Such pretentious religions should be stopped altogether. But then the question is, who's going to stop them? Government is not going to stop them. So the real way is, as Prabhupada has mentioned, preach. Preach the real religion. And then when we preach it properly and distribute Prabhupada's books, then automatically the other religions' followers will go away. The original system is that a Brahmin should actually become a Brahmin. He should not only take birth in a Brahmin family, but must also be qualified. Also, even if one is not born in a Brahmin family, but has Brahminical qualifications, he must be considered a Brahmin. By strictly following this system, one can be happy without extra endeavor. So, bhava vihito dharma kasya na ishta prashantai. The real aim of life is to mitigate distress, and one can do this very easily by following the principles of Shastra. And prashante, if one follows principles of Shastra, follows the varnashram system properly, then one will be peaceful because he is established in his own real position. And then if somebody is a Brahman and somehow he ends up working as a Shudra, he will not be happy. He will never be happy. And if he is not happy, then how is he going to take care of his own spiritual progress? And similarly, if a Shudra has become a Brahman, he doesn't understand the scriptures, he doesn't know how to teach, doesn't know how to do yagya, then how he can be happy? There'll always be agitation in his mind. Dharma artham api neheta yatrartham vadhano dhanam anihaniha manasya mahahereva vrittida. Even if a man is poor, he should not endeavor to improve his economic condition just to maintain his body and soul together or to become a famous religionist. Just as a great python, although living in one place, not endeavoring for its livelihood, gets the food it needs to maintain body and soul, one who is desireless, who also obtains his livelihood without endeavor. So it's not a big deal for one to maintain his body and soul together. Human life is simply meant for developing Krishna consciousness. One need not even try to earn a livelihood to maintain body and soul together. This is illustrated here by the example of the great python, which lies in one place, never going here and there to earn a livelihood to maintain itself, and yet is maintained by the grace of the Lord. As advised by Narad Muni, tasyeva hetu prayate kovida. One should simply endeavor to increase his Krishna consciousness. One should not desire to do anything else, even to earn his livelihood. There are many, many examples of this attitude. Madhavendra Puri, for instance, would never go to anyone to ask for food. Shukdev Goswami has also said, Kasmad Vajanti Kavayo Dhana Durmadandha. Why should one approach a person who's blind with wealth? Rather, one should depend on Krishna, and he will give everything. All the members of our Krishna consciousness movement, whether they be grihastas or sannyasis, should try to spread the Krishna consciousness movement with determination. And Krishna will supply all necessities. It doesn't say Krishna will supply all luxuries, although he is very, very merciful. He gives actually more than what we need. But then it's up to us, up to our consciousness, how we use that facility. Prabhupada is clearly saying, just spread Krishna consciousness movement with determination, and Krishna will supply all the necessities. The process of Ajagar Vritti, the means of livelihood of a python, is very much appreciated in this regard. Even though one may be very poor, he should simply try to advance in Krishna consciousness and not endeavor to earn his livelihood. Of course, we don't say don't endeavor to earn, but don't do atyahar or atyaprayas. Over endeavor is not required. But even if one doesn't do any work and he is doing his bhakti, Krishna will provide. That's for sure. He will provide. No matter even if we are living in a cave, Krishna does provide. Prabhupada gives the example of Madhavendra Puri. And this was Madhavendra Puri's way of living. He would never ask anybody for anything, especially the food part. His thought was, if Krishna wants to feed me, he will get me. Otherwise, I'm not going to ask. And when he came to Vrindavan, he was sitting and doing his bhajan. And it was evening time. He hadn't eaten anything. And this little boy came with a pot of milk. He said, Baba, you take this milk and drink it. I know you haven't eaten anything, and nobody goes hungry in my village. Madhavendra Puri asked him, who are you? Who told you I haven't eaten anything? Krishna said, well, the little boy said, well, there were some gopis who were fetching water in the well, and they saw you sitting and not eating anything. So they told me, and I got you some milk. So drink the milk, keep the pot, I'll come back and take the pot away. So the Madhavendra Puri drank the milk, and it was super tasty, and he kept the pot. He was waiting for the boy, and while waiting, he just dozed off a little. And when he dozed off, he saw in the dream the boy was there, and that one was Krishna. So anyway, the story goes further. The point is, Krishna always takes care of his devotees. And more than Krishna, Srimati Radharani cannot see anybody go hungry, especially in Braj. She cannot see that. So yes, for that, faith has to be there. Faith has to be. Not that we are sitting and trying to fast and then meditating on, oh, well, when is Krishna going to come and feed me? Then it's a different story. So this Ajagar Vritti, it's a very high level of renunciation. But if somebody can do that, it'd be great. But the point is not Ajagar Vritti or any other Vritti. Point is we have to become devotees. So all we have to do is perform our devotional service and let Krishna take care of everything else. Santushtasya nirihasya svatma ramasya yat sukham kutastat kam lobhena dhavato arte haya dishaha. One who is content and satisfied and who links his activities with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, residing in everyone's heart, enjoys transcendental happiness without endeavoring for his livelihood. Where is such happiness for a materialistic man who is impelled by lust and greed and who therefore wanders in all directions with the desire to accumulate wealth? So all we have to do is one who is content and satisfied. That can only happen when one is a devotee who links his activities with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means everything is yoga for him because he is linking everything with Krishna, residing in everyone's heart. And what does he do? He enjoys transcendental happiness without endeavoring for his livelihood. That's a real life. And then Narayana says, where is such happiness for a materialistic man? And materialistic men are always running around, want more and more and more and more, and they never get that because they're more greedy for more and more things, not at all satisfied with what they got. So in this regard, there was a devotee, Srinivasa Acharya in Navadvip. Oh, I'm sorry, Srivas Thakur or Srivas Pandit, who happens to be Narad Muni. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do kirtan in his house every day. And one day he asked him that you are a Grihastha and you have a big family. You have 5 brothers, Shriva, Shripati, Srinidhi, Sriram, and there was one more, forgetting his name. And he said, but I don't see you going out doing any business or working to make money. How come? And how come you get taken care of? How do you take care of your family's financial needs? So Srivas Thakur, he just clapped 3 times. Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, I'm asking you a serious question. How do you maintain your family? Again, Srivas Thakur clapped 3 times. Mahaprabhu said, I'm asking such a serious question. What is the meaning of clapping 3 times? He said, 3 claps means one day you don't provide for our maintenance, then we fast for one day, everybody in the household. If you don't provide for another day, we fast 2 days. And if you don't provide for 3rd day, 3 days in a row, then we'll all just jump in the Ganges and drown and commit suicide. Mahaprabhu said, you have so much of faith in me. Even if Lakshmi ji has to go begging door to door, there'll never be scarcity in your house. I'll always provide everything for your maintenance. So that kind of faith, nishtha, that's amazing. And Krishna does provide. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does provide for everybody's maintenance. So why won't he provide for his devotees' maintenance? But it's a greed that he doesn't take care of. Maintenance, no problem. Sada santushta manasa sarva shiva maya disha sharkara kantakadibdo yatho panata pada shivam. For a person who has suitable shoes on his feet, there is no danger even when he walks on pebbles and thorns. For him, everything is auspicious. Similarly, for one who is always satisfied, there is no distress. Indeed, he feels happiness everywhere. So that is a devotee. One is who's content, who's self-satisfied, with no distress, he feels happiness everywhere. And one who is not self-satisfied, even though he could be a billionaire, he will not be happy. So the real goal of life is to be happy, to be satisfied, to be content, and only a devotee can do that because he has full faith in the Lord, and Lord takes care of him. Santushta ken varajan na varte tapi varina opasthya javya karpanya gripalayate janaha. My dear king, a self-satisfied person can be happy even with only drinking water. However, one who is driven by the senses, especially by the tongue and genitals, must accept the position of a household dog to satisfy his senses. Heavy, heavy statement. According to the Shastras, a Brahman or a cultured person in Krishna consciousness will not enter anyone's service to maintain body and soul together, and especially not for the satisfaction of the senses. A true Brahman is always satisfied. Even if he has nothing to eat, he can drink a little water and be satisfied. This is only a matter of practice. Unfortunately, however, no one is educated in how to be satisfied in self-realization. As explained above, a devotee is always satisfied because he feels the presence of the Super Soul within his heart and thinks of him 24 hours a day. That is real satisfaction. A devotee is never driven by the dictations of the tongue and genitals, and thus he is never victimized by the laws of material nature. See, this we can see from old days of India, maybe 60, 70, 100 years ago. The Brahmins or everybody was completely satisfied. They were not running around to make more and more and more and more. And slowly these things were introduced in our system, in our society by British. And they completely killed this Varnashram system. First Mughals and then British, obviously. And so the point was, those who were well off, they would take care of people who didn't have much. But the Brahmins, they would be living not very opulently. Brahmins were never opulent. They didn't have too much money, but they would be completely satisfied. There was never a caution of getting into competition to make more and more money. It's only with this education system that we are given this kind of life. If you don't work hard, if you don't make your name and whatever, then it's not worth it. No, if we don't become a devotee of Krishna, then it's not worth it. Rest everything, who cares? But this is not how the society is going on these days. Asantushtasya viprasya tejo vidya tapo yashaha sravantindriya lolyan jnanam chaivav kiryate. Because of greed for the sake of the senses, the spiritual strength, education, austerity, and reputation of a devotee or Brahman who's not self-satisfied dwindle, and his knowledge gradually vanishes. So this is what happens when we are not satisfied with whatever we have, whatever Krishna has provided. So spiritual strength, education, austerity, reputation just goes down, and his knowledge gradually vanishes. Then he's not a Brahman, to say. So anyway, let's stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
There's a lot to actually ponder and then realize from all these verses.
Yeah, I know.
So deep, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and if we look at our lives, just completely opposite of this.
Actually, Prabhuji. To have that staunch faith, I don't know, it can be only, it can only be arise by the mercy of the Lord, or we want to be that much of determined, we can, I mean, have that faith and leave our, or renounce our pratyahara, whatever we are doing in the material world too much.
See, mercy of the Lord. In Hindi, it's called kripa, right?
Yes.
But kripa means kar and pa. First, we have to put in our effort. His mercy is always there. But we have to put in our effort for him to see whether we really want it or not.
So first is our effort, and then this is so nice to me. Kripa, the meaning of kripa. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata. So you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.